morning and a very warm welcome to Frugalfull. My name's Lara and this is a frugal living and budgeting channel. Behind me you'll be able to see a wee Bella. She's just the most cute little thing. I've been doing a lot of cleaning and housework this weekend and she's been very curious about the whole process. So this morning, it's a lazy Sunday morning. When the video comes out is a Thursday, and this is the final video in the wee series of videos I've been doing for a few months that are called The Best Things in Life Are Budget Friendly. So this isn't a specific thing that I'm grateful for. So the idea with the series, in case you've not seen any of them, is each time I would pick a theme for something I feel much gratitude for in my life. The reason being is I feel like the attitude of gratitude is a fantastic frugal foundation and a great attitude for an abundance mindset, which is such a valuable thing to cultivate no matter what someone's budget. Having those things in place is invaluable and priceless in my opinion. So I just thought it would be a lovely opportunity to share with you some things I feel much gratitude for and appreciating the simple things in life, slowing down, taking time to really notice these amazing things all around us that are worth so much. I thought I'd do a series of videos about some different things, but there could be an infinite amount of things to express gratitude for. So this final video, and by the way, if you haven't noticed, the positioning's changed because usually you sit on my air fryer, but not anymore. Now the phone that I'm filming with is sitting in the tripod for reasons that you will find out shortly. But rather than a specific thing, this video is about the idea of enoughness, and I don't know if this is such a word, but it is now, Middlemalism. So I really love learning about minimalism, and the Minimalist podcast has been a really, really brilliant way of learning about minimalism. I can't say it today. Joshua Becker's videos are great too. There are loads of great resources out there to do with minimalism. But for me personally, I mean, you can see my little guys in the background who pop up at the end of each video, my little vegetable people, like daft wee things like that I just find really spark a bit of joy. To quote Marie Kondo. So for me, I don't think I could ever be completely a minimalist, because having things around me that spark joy, that fuel that kind of fun, playful inner child part of me, spark curiosity, get my imagination and my creativity flowing, that's worth a lot. And I wouldn't ever want to completely have nothing around. Not that minimalism has to mean like just bare white walls and no items. It can for some people. But the part in minimalism about intentionality is so important and something that I really take to heart, take closely. So I like to have, especially in certain spaces, like this is a creative space for me, so I like to have things around that inspire, but within reason, finding that middle way, that middle ground, hence middlemalism. I don't want it to be maximalist like it's been unintentionally. Finding a kind of middle ground and that balance, to me that feels so important in life, balance in all things. And it's easy to get either carried away with decluttering to the point of, in the past, I have over decluttered and then regretted letting go of certain items. Not much, but a little bit. Other times, well, more likely than not, it's been clutter and things going the opposite way. And this video title is where I'm leading with this, the hidden cost of clutter. So maximalism and too many things around and too much clutter, it really, really has a hidden cost. And I've actually just felt so inspired to film this today because of reaching a bit of a not a breaking point, but sort of reaching a limit where I'm thinking enough is enough. This is not what I mean by enoughism. Enoughism, in terms of that, I mean feeling just so appreciative of the simple things and knowing what is my enough. So having a roof over my head, being able to feed myself, being able to pay my bills and be able to still have a comfortable lifestyle. Maybe not being able to afford splurging on all kinds of things, but being able to budget for and afford the odd wee treat here and there in an intentional way, being able to have wee trips here and there, because I do love to travel. These are priorities for me, but enoughism, I feel, is that if someone can afford their basics, but they have a little bit to be able to afford something that's special for them, not feeling under pressure to have to spend to keep up with anyone else, because it's if we can find our own path and what matters most to us, that's what's going to cultivate satisfaction and joy in our lives. And being able to afford to be comfortable. What an amazing luxury that is. That is enough. That is so much more than enough. And if we're in that position, we're incredibly lucky. There are poor souls that haven't got clean water and can't afford to eat well, and there's always so much to be grateful for. So enoughism is a big thing, but what I mean is enough in terms of the maximalist clutter and the hidden costs of clutter. So luckily I am just going to check we're all good for time. There's space on the phone to film with you today. So I mean, the good thing is I love a good bargain. So the accumulation of clutter over the years has been things that have been affordable. They're things that can be very purposeful, or they are genuinely things I really enjoy having in my space. However, there's a finite amount of space, and also as time goes on, personal priorities can change, preferences can change, and the way a space needs to be used can change. So, but also when life gets busy and there are other priorities, and in trying to find that balance, sometimes decluttering, like usually I would try, since the pandemic, I would usually try and do a little and often decluttering to try and keep on top of clutter and just make sure things don't creep in and the clutter builds back up. Because in a previous video about the 1 in and 1 out rule, I was talking about that idea of if you have designated space for things in your home, they have a set place that they live, then you can easily learn and identify what doesn't have a place to live. And if something's coming in to a space, something has to be taken out so that the thing has a place, it has its home. And that helps with keeping on top of clutter. But there needs to be a bit of time to keep that system going. And when life gets busy and there's other priorities, it's easy for things to kind of go to the back burner, which is what's happened with me. I've been very busy with different projects, different deadlines this year, and it was at the back burner and the clutter built back up. Doesn't help also that during the lockdown the units fell off this kitchen wall, almost crushing my beautiful greyhound I had at the time, but thankfully he was okay, thank God. But there should be 4 of these cupboards along this wall, so there's a lot. And also I don't have storage space under this worktop because it's designed like a kind of bar stool sitting area, which is nice, but I need more storage. I did find a couple of free wee wooden cupboards a few years ago that are part of my kind of pantry cupboard supply space. But long story short is that this kitchen has extremely small amount of storage space. So clutter built up over time. And this weekend it got to the point, excuse me, do you ever feel like this? So this weekend it got to the point that the clutter was just getting on top of me. I needed to give this room a deep clean, but because there was so much stuff in the way and it was just bogging me down and I just felt overwhelmed with it. So I thought, enough's enough. I'm really gonna just cut through this, really streamline it. I mean, it's middlemalist, it's not minimalist. So there are still things about, but it will be a million times easier to clean. And it will just be a more relaxing space to be in. There's still a lot of decorating to do in here, but one step at a time. The stuff that is removed from the room may be stuff I reintroduce once I have storage space in here in the future, or if I move in the future. I'm going to be putting it into a designated space for stuff that's to be decided on. So the minimalists, as in Joshua Fields Milburn and Ryan Nicodemus, and now also TJ Coleman, they would say about like just in case items, that just in case items aren't really the most minimalist approach, because then it's kind of hanging on to stuff just in case, and then it's still going to be taking up space. But for me at this stage, because I don't fully know what space is going to be available in this room, sorry, or in a future kitchen, at this point, just in case for those things makes sense, because there's absolutely no point buying, for example, mixing bowls all over again, or oven dishes when I do eventually have an oven. So in this situation, it's probably a wiser idea because it saves having to rebuy things. 2 seconds, I've got a wee cough. Right, that's better. Sorry about that. Yeah, so the hidden costs of clutter. So this is kind of quoting the minimalists and people like that with their inspiration and words of wisdom. Hidden costs of clutter can be, for example, the cost of buying the thing, maintaining the thing, and just generally looking after the thing, cleaning the thing, finding space for the thing, insuring the thing, is for example with home insurance, contents insurance, all that sort of thing. So we're already at 5. There's the emotional cost of the thing, if it's in your face like the stuff in this room was that was excess clutter. That's draining. It's mentally draining, it's emotionally draining, it's physically draining, because then it makes more work trying to clean the thing. And then if you decide enough's enough, then there's the cost of trying to figure out which things should stay and which should go, or having a maybe pile or section of your home like I'm going to have. I've got thankfully a storage space for that, so it won't interfere with my day-to-day living. And then I'll need to just tackle that later, and it will have to wait for now, that's fine. But anyway, then there is also the cost of what to do with the thing if you don't want to keep it. Do you try and sell it? Because a lot of the time, not keeping the thing, people don't want to not keep the thing because there's this idea of the sunk cost fallacy. So there's the regrets over the money that's been spent on buying something that's no longer needed. So sometimes, and I've done this many times, I'll keep something because I don't want to miss out on that money that I spent, and I would want to recoup that money. So sunk cost fallacy, feeling like there's been a cost put out and don't want to waste that money, but then there's actually a cost to holding on to something and losing that valuable space. So I do try and sell the things I'm not keeping if possible, but I know that I'm going to not recoup the whole value, and that's okay. It served a purpose at some point, even if it was just a wee comfort spend at the time. At the time, it felt like the right decision. No regrets, no guilt, no shame. Move on. And if it's possible to recoup a bit of money, great. If not, what else can you do with the thing? Can it be recycled? Can it be donated? Can it be gifted? Which feels great because then you know it's going to go to someone and serve a valuable purpose for them. If you have a bartering group near you, they are amazing. They are a brilliant way of that whole recycling ethos, but you might get something in exchange. It doesn't have to be like for like value. I did do a video about this a while back. So for example, things I've bartered, I've exchanged, say, a bunch of bananas for my patio table and chairs, which was amazing. Tinned tomatoes, very popular form of bartering currency for my local-ish active bartering group. And it's a really, really great way to declutter. And it's fun, and you can make friends in the process. I've made a few friends through the bartering group, and it's been fantastic. So also people barter for skills and stuff like that. So it can be such a great community asset. Finally, and this is the one I avoid if possible, is having to throw out the thing. Not recycling, but throwing out, and it's going to end up in landfill. Oh, we're okay. It's so sad if something has to end up in landfill, if it could serve a purpose. Also, the recent video I did on upcycling and crafts and things, another thing is repurposing and upcycling. So sometimes old welly boots and things of mine end up down at the allotment because they're great wee plant pots. Upcycling at the allotment is very popular. It's good. So yeah, so there are hidden costs to things, hidden costs of clutter. The best thing is really, I guess, is just not having the clutter in the first place. That would be the ideal, wouldn't it? But easier said than done sometimes. But at least there are ways to tackle the clutter once it does come into our space. But I hope that you don't have to endure it getting to the point that it's bogging you down and making you feel tired, overwhelmed, a bit stressed in your home space. We don't want that. No, don't want that. So I'm going to give you a wee tour of how the kitchen's looking now. If you've seen my past videos, you'll probably notice quite a difference in certain bits. Like I was trying to grow seedlings in the spring and I had some compost and things around here and hadn't managed to get a chance to deal with that, but it was just not the most relaxing space when there's all this compost there, and I'd not been growing anything for a while, so it was time to deal with that. Lots of things like that. And also, just to say, now recently I was doing a budgeting video about food shopping and whatnot, and I told you about something I've started to do called the Frugal Tuck Shop, and I'm going to do a budgeting video soon related to the Frugal Tuck Shop and some other budgeting tools that I've begun exploring that I'm finding very, very helpful. So watch this space. But in the spirit of the Frugal Tuck Shop, but when it comes to things rather than food, I just wanted to tell you about something else I'm going to try. Let me know in the comments if you would like me to share this wee journey with you. That would be awesome. It's in the spirit of the Frugal Tuck Shop. It's also in the spirit of the one in and one out rule. So let me explain. I was away on holiday last year, and also last year I had a little bit of leftover holiday money, and I had a wee wish list of Japan related paraphernalia. So I'd ordered some things and I'd brought some goodies home from the holiday that I didn't look at all the bits straight away. And what I did is I put them into a box, and I thought they will be amazing to look at on a rainy day and start enjoying and start using. And the things that I'd ordered, some of those things, I thought I'll wait and they can be a wee treat. But what happened was then I stored them away, and then I was busy with other things and didn't open them. And I thought to myself, do you know what I'm going to do is, it's a bit like with the food from the Frugal Tuck Shop, buying it in advance and then paying for it by paying myself back later. So I ordered some surplus food supplies in August, and what I decided to do is, as I used the item, I was then paying, my future self was paying myself back for what I bought previously, because money came out of a fund, and when I use the food things, I'm going to put money back into that fund, pardon me, to replace what had been spent. So it's a similar thing with these items. I bought them with my holiday pocket money last year, but what I'm going to do is, once a month, I'm going to let myself have a treat from the box, and I won't have seen these things for over a year, or some of them I've not opened or seen at all yet. So it means that when I have that thing, rather than using my £15, I think I'm going to reduce it to £10 though, rather than using my sinking fund of a treats fund for either £10 or £15 that month, I'm going to pay myself that £10 or £15 and put it in a fund I'll tell you about in another video. But basically, I'll be paying myself back that money that I've spent in the past, and I'll forego buying a treat and instead enjoy a treat I already have, figure out if I'm going to keep it, because I might have changed my mind since then. It might not feel like such a big deal anymore, and I might decide not to keep it, in which case decide, am I going to donate, sell, blah blah blah. If I'm keeping it, I've got to find a home for it, and one thing will be coming in, so one thing's got to come out. So would you like me once a month to share the journey of something that's a treat, that's going to be a substitute for the money? The money will get paid to myself, and I won't buy a treat. I'll have something I've already got as a treat. What I'm going to do with it, figure out where it's going to live, and then share with you what's coming out of my home. So it's one in, one out. Let me know if you'd like me to do that. That would be great. And if you do, I have the first thing ready here. So that can be in a video soon. Also, another quick thing to let you know related to the Sunday videos. Recently I did one about onigiri and Japanese food. Super excited to make more Japanese meals with you coming up, because they're such a great part of the diet, and I really have big weight loss goals and I need to get them into high gear and get started properly. But making Japanese food will be a really amazing, healthy, frugal way to do so, and it'll be fun to share more recipes with you and things. But while I've been tidying up and clearing out space in the kitchen and putting things back in some cases where they belong, like on the bookshelf for the books, look what I found. And this was a freebie from, there's a place that sells secondhand books quite near to me, and they always have a box with free things. This was in the free things box. Look, Woman's Weekly cooking class, Japanese step-by-step meals, and it just looks absolutely amazing. And it's got some really beautiful sounding things. It's got sushi rice, soups, rice and noodles. Oh, there's loads, one pot dishes, things like nabe. There's just so many, and how to make your own stock. I'm so excited to start using this book. And again, let me know in the comments if you would like me to do, shabu shabu. That's like a big sharing dish, so that won't be on that scale, but maybe on a small scale I could do something with that. There's even salad, Japanese salad at the back here. So let me know what you think. Would be very happy to do some videos related to recipes in this book. So I'll give you a wee tour, and I'm going to clean the wee vegetable people, and then the kitchen will be nice and clean and fresh again, and much less cluttered, which will make all future cleaning much easier. So clutter can have a hidden cost, but hopefully if we can find ways to reduce the clutter we're bringing in and increase the clutter we're removing, then hope we can keep the costs of clutter to a minimum in our lives. And not necessarily be minimalist if that feels like too much, but middlemalism and enoughness could be great tools for us finding balance in our lives. So it's been lovely to share these thoughts with you today. Thank you for watching, and I'll spin you around and then I'll say goodbye just now. See you in a video very soon. Hope you're having a great week. Take care. Bye.